Trying to bring her to church or something, but yeah.
That's always uncomfortable. Do you
Shit.
ever have a friend who tries to like slyly get you to go to church with them? Like they bring it up in
Oh.
conversation, and you kind of have like there's no polite thing to say where it's like, "Oh, I had a lot of fun hanging out tonight." Yeah, me too, man. We should do this more often. You know, actually, I every Sunday morning around like 9:30 or so, me and a couple of my other friends that you'd like, we go to the church. My pastor's great. You'll love him. It's just like, oh, next time, next time. Like,
No, I won't.
I'll see you
Yeah,
around.
we had that experience with the lady who lives next door. We like my wife and I. This was a few years ago when we moved here. We were outside like shooting baskets. I was losing at horse, and the lady next door like yelled down to us something like it was something like are your dogs okay? I heard them barking the other day. It was some shit, and we end up like she comes down to our driveway and we start having a conversation. She seemed relatively normal at first, and at one point she said that she was 70 years old, and I was like, "Oh wow, you don't look 70," and which she didn't. And she's like, "Oh well, thanks. I whatever. I eat well." And then she went, and well, the Lord's been good to me. And she looked up and pointed, and I'm like, shit. That's
Oh, come on, Jordan did that shit all the time.
Yeah, but that was dramatics for a crowd. She was just with me. So then my wife.
So if she
later,
sunk a 3 right before she told you the story, it'd have been all good.
But see, what happened was that, yes, of course. But
Like dominates you both in horse.
But my wife, like later on in the conversation, like offered her a one of my DVDs, to take with her, and I'm like, and I went, you said something about the Lord earlier, and there's a lot of cuss words on my DVDs. I want to make sure you're okay with that, because I wouldn't want to be rude and give somebody, a bunch of stuff like that to take into their house if that's not,
Sure.
what they want. And she's like, I said, you said something about the Lord, and she's like, oh, do you know him? And I went, fuck, this is gonna be a long one. I'm like, I went, no, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I just was like, I'm kind of the I don't know persuasion, and she's like, oh, you're agnostic. Well, listen, there's gonna be a rapture, and she starts sermonizing me on my driveway, and I was like,
Trying to save you.
And and I mean, telling me about like because every one of those people like they always like go, no, I have proof. I actually had an out of body experience when she said she was like 10. I'm like, so 60 years ago you had an out of body. You remember it perfectly, huh? And it was just, I really was like, man, I think I'd rather live next door to a Satanist.
Oh yeah, the Satanists keep their own at least.
Yeah, they don't have pamphlets. They don't have any. They don't want to. They don't recruit you for anything.
They invite you over for blood orgies or something.
They don't even invite you over. They just wear black and cats come up missing and shit. But it's not that big a deal. But this lady just I was so mad that I was so polite.
Did you take the DVD?
Just sort of. No, I didn't give her DVD. I just was like. But I just remember like she sermonized us for a while on our driveway, and I was just like kind of going, well, but then there's science, because I didn't want to be rude to anybody's beliefs, but it was like she was so rude to mine, because it was like I made it clear that I didn't say I was open to suggestions. I just said that I'm of the I don't know persuasion, which means I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's beyond death. But also I failed to mention that I do know she doesn't know either. And and that's what really pissed me off was like people who are so gung ho over their religion. It's like they can't.
They have no respect for your belief system.
Internal. Yeah, and they can't like if I respect yours. Respect mine, which is my choice to not be.
Yeah, back off from it.
That
well,
shit.
see,
You broke the rule of you always, anytime that I can tell, it's just like a run of the mill Baptist or Christian. Like, do you know the Lord? 100% of the time, the answer is yes. Yes, totally.
Absolutely,
I'm
I
on
do.
your side. And then they will not proselytize.
Right.
They just
Oh,
go,
yeah. Right,
peace be
yeah.
with you, and also
Tell them
with
you're,
you.
or
Like,
tell them you're Jewish, and that'll
tell them you're
immediately-
Jewish. Or
They're gone.
there's a nice little
They want
switcheroo you
nothing
can
to do with you.
with
Yeah, I
Jehovah's
come off
Witnesses.
Jewish.
Burn
Yeah.
across
Jehovah's
my yard.
Witnesses or Mormons. If a Mormon comes up to your door, you can tell them that you're a Jehovah's Witness, but that you'd love to talk to them a while and explain about your religion. If a Jehovah's Witness comes up, you tell them that you're Mormon and you'd love to talk and tell them about your religion. And no matter what, they won't be interested because they know that you're on a different side of that same coin. You know, you're both the people who go around.
I just can't. I can't be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like I can't just give them that. Say no, like I'm on the same boat. I believe there's a wizard in the sky who created all of this. Of course.
I'll praise him.
I don't want to give them that. I don't want to. I just think God is sort of is graduated Santa. Like you get to a certain age where you're too old to believe in Santa.
It's all based on a
so
time when they didn't know where the sun went every night.
Right.
Yeah, they couldn't even cook pork well enough to the point that they were like, just ban this. Like, we can't even cook this long enough. Just get the shellfish too.
They had
Right.
the biggest barbecue out.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Earth was flat. I mean, everything was just. It's like, I mean, and you can't like let go of these things. And like every time you come up with, I mean, because there's been all kinds of like proof to show, like that. You see Zeitgeist, like with the them saying how like the story of Jesus is very similar to the god Horus. That
Yep.
was like right where it's like. I mean, and the thing is it's all sun gods. It's all like they're basically worshiping the sun, and then it became a person, and it's just.
I never know
like,
what's true. Like I saw the Zeitgeist thing, and I found it really
Yeah.
fascinating, and it was
Yeah.
pretty much a really solid debunking of Christianity. But for all I know, Space Jam is a more reliable source.
So
I don't know.
I remember learning about Zoroastrianism in school, and that was one of the very, very earliest religions, and it's pretty much the same story as Christianity. It's and you go back to like Hammurabi's Code, which is like the first written law that humanity ever really had. There's a lot of similarities there between it and the Ten Commandments.
It seems to all be like there's a man behind the curtain. Don't ask any questions. Just obey. And it seems to be a really convenient tool for those in the position to play God, on Earth. And it's,
Wizard of Oz kind of thing. You're absolutely right with that.
God is all-knowing. He's all-powerful. He's my friend, but I need you to give me money. Right? God can't help me with this. Right.
Is that Louis C.K.?
I don't even know.
Oh, that's.
I think that's just a lot of people who.
Yeah, I feel like
it out,
that might even be my own parallel thinking.
George Carlin did a lot of stuff like that, where he's in Zeitgeist. They do a sound clip of him in Zeitgeist where he talks about God's always broke. God can only talk to one person at a time. Like they always have these moments where God came to him and talked to him. And it's like they're always by themselves. Like it's never, And it's like, how do you know it's God? Like, how do you know? How do you know you're not schizophrenic? Like, how do you know?
Or it's not a demon. Like if you believe in that sort of thing, how do you know that?
Is that you, God? No, it's Dave. Oh, wait a minute.
Aren't you the devil? No, I'm God. I got some stuff for you to
exactly.
do.
No,
the devil would tell you the truth.
Yeah, you ask them, they have to admit it.
I thought that was just cops. That's the devil too.
They have to tell the truth. Demons can't lie.
Are you an undercover demon? Fuck. All right, I'll go try the other, fucking dirt farmer 3 huts down the lane. See if I can convince him.
And there's, whenever I get into these little debates with my mother, for example, or someone, it's like, so do you believe in the witches, like the Bible says? Are there witches out there that we need to be vigilant about who might cast a fucking spell on me, turn me into Toad, that sort of thing? Devil-worshipping witches who get their power from him. Does that exist, Mom, like it says in the Bible? Yeah, it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch, something like that. I think I'm quoting that correctly.
I hate. I mean, I don't know. I watched a lot of documentaries, and I found one that was pretty highly respected, highly certified scholars have actually even narrowed down who wrote the Bible. Like, you know, it was like this family of like military people for the Roman Empire, the Flavians or something, that they wrote the Bible in order to basically maintain rule in the Roman Empire. And it's like it's I mean, when you have these people tell you this, but it's like, no, I'm gonna believe the guy on TV who wants money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna believe Creflo Dollar or some shit. You know, like, yeah, it's come on, really? You don't think that guy has an incentive to lie to you? I mean, but these professors who've been just rummaging through books for years, that